Should the Los Angeles Lakers sign Will Barton after he was bought out by the Washington Wizards? We're going to break that down in today's show. I'm your host, Marshall Green. You're watching the Los Angeles Lakers Report by Chat Sports. We're also going to talk about the Lakers' playoff chances. We'll take a look at some standings and some records, their upcoming schedule. And then we're going to talk about Bronny James because he is rising in the 2024 mock drafts. Could he be drafted by the Lakers? We will break that down. Barton has yet to sign with a team after being bought out by the Wizards earlier this week. And the Lakers, I think, could be a good destination for Will Barton. Barton's not having the best season of his career. Nobody really does in Washington. Even Michael Jordan didn't. But he's averaging 7.7 points per game, shooting only 39% from the field. But he is a good three-point shooter, shooting 38% from downtown. And he's getting over three three-pointers a game up from beyond the three-point arc. I like Will Barton. I call him a walking bucket, and I think he'd be a good depth piece for this team. He is your classic six-man. Like when you do franchise mode on 2K and you get to round 7 or round 8, if Will Barton's still there, you're going to take him, and he's the guy that you're going to get buckets with off the bench, and that's what the Lakers would use him for. And I think it makes sense because they need another guy alongside Beasley and alongside Bamba and Reeves and Vanderbilt. He's a wing. He's not a 2 and he's not a 3, he's just a wing. And they need a guy that can come off the bench at that wing spot, get buckets, knock down open shots, and create their own offense off the bounce. That's what Will Barton has made a career out of in the NBA. I mean, when you look at the Lakers' depth at the wing spot, I'd rather have Will Barton playing than absolutely all of these guys right here. I like Max Christie. I like Troy Brown, Lonnie Walker. He used to have a really cool haircut. And Devon Reed, he's solid, but they're not even close to the type of basketball player that Will Barton is. I know you might say, well, if he was so good, Marshall, then why was he cut? It's because he was playing for Washington. He didn't want to be there. It was a mutual agreement. They're not going to make the playoffs and might as well get the toxicity out of the locker room. Hopefully he can come to the Lakers and be that guy off the bench that can get you 8 to 12 points a night playing 20, 22 minutes. I think it makes sense, and I think that Robbie P should make this move. And I think it would make the Lakers better. I mean, you pretty much have a whole new team after the NBA trade deadline. Might as well add one more guy that's going to make this team better. I want to hear from the Lakers Report real ones, though. So sound off in the comment section for me. If you were Rob Pelinka, the general manager of the Los Angeles Lakers, would you sign Will Barton? Let me know down in the comment section. Type S for sign or go down, type P for pass if you're not interested. We'll get to more news and rumors coming up in a second, but first, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, youtube.com/LakersTV. We put out videos almost every single day on the latest Lakers news and rumors with about 23 games to go. A really important stretch for the Lakers. We're going to keep you up to date with everything surrounding Los Angeles. Look, sub for Lakers dubs. You want the Lakers to start rattling off some wins? Hit that sub button. Hit it right now. What are the Lakers' expectations through the final 23 games of the season? As right now, they are sitting outside of the play-in tournament. The Lakers are, though, 2 games back of that final play-in spot and 3.5 games out of the number 6 seed in the Western Conference. So it is very doable for them over this final stretch to stack some wins, get healthy, and find a way to squeak themselves in the playoff race. I think that is absolutely a possibility. I mean, this is what Darvin Ham had to say about it. He said, we have to help ourselves first and foremost. And we only do that by winning games. We've already put ourselves behind the 8 ball enough. We don't want to get into a further situation where we are depending on teams in front of us to lose games, and all the while we are dropping games. So winning is the focus, and it's the only way we can help ourselves. The lone goal for the Lakers this year, and I think this is what I'm going to say. The lone goal for the Lakers is to make the playoffs, but you can tell that is the goal for the decision makers and the upper management of this team. You don't make all the moves that the Lakers made at the NBA trade deadline without the expectation that you want to make one final playoff push. They made so many trades. There was a lot of roster turnover midway through the season. You only do that if you are trying to win games, which they are. They just have to go out and do it, because right now they sit at that 13th spot in the Western Conference, 27-32. They're only 2 wins back of the 9th seed Warriors. This will continue to change. A lot of games still going on. Look, Lakers control their own destiny at this point. Continue to stack wins. I think if the Lakers finish 3 games above 500 in these final 23 games, they will be a top 10 seed, and they will be at minimum a team making a play-in tournament. And I can tell you this much. There are not a lot of teams that want to play Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and this Lakers team in the play-in. I do know this. Pat Beverley continues to talk about the Los Angeles Lakers on his Pat Bev pod. He said his co-host, Roan, asked him, what are the emotions going to be like going into that? Like, what's going through your head? He talked about maybe playing the Lakers when he is a part of the Chicago Bulls. And Beverley said, knock them out of the playoffs. Pat Bev, you are always one of the most salty players in the NBA. It's probably because you're really not that good at ball. He just had to be a guy that tried really, really hard. I mean, Beverley, it didn't work out for the Lakers, and for good reason. He's just really not that good of a player, and his prime is well past him. He joined the Chicago Bulls, who play the Lakers on March 26th and 29th. I have that one circled on my calendar. I'm sure good old Patrick Beverley does as well. Pat Bev, one thing I do like about him is he loves to stir the pot. And that's something I like to do as well. So I admire that from Beverley, but dude, know who you are. You're not that guy. You're not Himothy. You're not the reason, or there's a reason that you're not on this team. It's because you're not that guy. You weren't the person that could elevate this team. Look, Beverley, solid player, but you know what? He should probably retire at this point. This is what Anthony Davis had to say on the home stretch of this season. He said, each game is a must-win game for us, given the situation that we're in. So they're all pretty important, and we got to treat it each game that way. Look at it as a Game 7 game. If we go out and compete on both ends of the floor and do what we're supposed to do, we'll give ourselves a pretty good chance. I agree, Anthony Davis. You know what's really going to give the Lakers a good chance? If you can stay healthy and play all 23 of these remaining ball games. The Lakers will not make the playoffs if you don't get at minimum 20 combined games between LeBron James and Anthony Davis over this final stretch. That's really what it's going to come down to. If AD's healthy, LeBron's healthy, I do believe they'll find a way in, but I think we've come to learn, Los Angeles, that Anthony Davis is someone that can't really stay healthy. I do want to ask this question before we tell you about this awesome deal we have going on. Will the Lakers make the playoffs? Get out your crystal ball, rub it, tell me what you think. Y for yes and for no down in the comments section. Before we get to the Bronny James stuff, I want to tell you about this awesome deal we have going on with our sponsor, Fanatics. Go to chatsports.com/Lakers combo. You got a short sleeve t-shirt you can rock in the summer coming up, and you can rock this long sleeve t-shirt in the breezy nights in LA. Go to chatsports.com/Lakers combo. That link is in the comments and description down below. We're going to wrap up today's show talking about Bronny, because it sounds like Bronny James is rising up the ranks in the 2024 NBA mock drafts that are going on. I mean, in the latest ESPN mock draft for 2024, they have Bronny James being selected 10th overall by the Orlando Magic. That's kind of wild, because 6 months ago, Bronny James was projected as a second-round draft pick, but he's gotten better. And Jonathan Givony of ESPN said just that. He says, as most of his peers have flatlined the past 12 to 18 months, James has grown and filled out his frame, found another gear with his explosiveness, and became an absolute terror off the ball defensively, thanks to his outstanding intensity and feel for the game. Bronny is and will continue to ascend through the ranks. Kind of a late bloomer if you think about it, but he continues to get better and better. And you might be asking yourself, why is this dude talking about Bronny James on the Lakers report? Because his daddy plays for the Lakers. And if the Lakers draft Bronny James, LeBron's going to retire a Laker. I do think it's funny that ESPN mocked Bronny James to the Magic in 2024. I think it was only so they could repurpose this quote. This is what LeBron James had to say on playing in Orlando back in the bubble. He said, that's part of the reason I haven't taken my daughter to Disney World. You got to understand, anytime I hear Orlando right now, I get PTSD. I was in the bubble for 95 days. They have no chance. I'm not going. I'm just retiring. It's over. Just like Vince Carter. Bron, you're being a little bit dramatic here, but if LeBron wants to play with Bronny, it won't be in Orlando with the Magic or Magic Johnson. Look, I just wanted to bring this up because if the Lakers miss the playoffs, I truly believe LeBron James could try to force his way out of LA. And really, if they miss the playoffs and they keep him for one more year, the only way he's sticking around in LA is if they find a way to trade up in that 2024 draft and draft Bronny James. So I want to ask this question. Where will Bronny James be drafted? I'm sure Rob Pelinka would take him with the number 1 pick if that meant Bron could stay in LA. Where will he be drafted? Type L for the Lakers or O for other. Let me know in the comment section down below. Appreciate you guys tuning in. This is the Los Angeles Lakers Report. I'm Marshall Green. Give me a follow on Twitter.